All right, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Barakakadash. Double honors be made to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone who ruled well and taught us this truth. And the sincere peace and salutations to all the Akim pushing this word in truth and in all sincerity. It's the brother Gadon from DC Church coming back at you with a quick video. And Lord's will be quick. I was just scrolling on the web and I'm just play this video, put it up raw real quick. And basically it's just these two teens in DC in the back of the police car. But I'm gonna just play this real quick.
I'm out Largo right now. We're in the back of the cop car. Nigga, man, this shit finna throw me off. This shit hurt. Me and the man locked up right now. So, nah, yeah, though. Man, I'm keeping the same energy, though. I don't give a fuck.
Chill.
I don't give a fuck, fool. Shit, nothing.
If I get let go, I'm doing the same thing again.
Right, he said if he get let go, he doing the same thing again. You know, and basically it's just a crash out of all the youngins. You know, what sparked this video was basically where my mind was at, what I was thinking about is looking at the crime rate. You know, I'm over here in the DMV. I think B-More and DC is breaking the records of their previous years, and the criminals are young teens. You know, these young teenagers, these young 2000 babies, these GMO babies. Now, they crashing out because not because it's a lot of different reasons, but one of the reasons that I want to harp on is these rappers. You know, the hip hop. You know, and I remember first coming into this truth. You know, Apostle Gabar did a beautiful video on it, on the origins of hip hop, where it came from and how Esau had his hand in it. And you know, a lot of these rappers, you know, that we grew up on, you know, they portrayed this type of image, but they wasn't really about it. You know, that's why you see they living their lives, they out of jail, like Young Jeezy, for example. You know, trap or die. You know, that mentality. And look at him, you know, a successful entrepreneur. His sons made it through college. You know, they live in that American dream. But then you had the youngest coming after you. You know, the youngest where you had the obligation to teach them. See, what our nation have to understand is we're judged as a nation, not individuals. You know, so you had a responsibility to teach these men. You know, or be a little more conscious with your with your music. But you know, the conscious rap wasn't gonna make it through the record label. So what you did was promoting killing each other, you know, stealing from each other, committing adultery, you know. And I got this in Timothy's, I mean, not Timothy's, Titus, because we always get on the women, rightfully so, but also we got to get on the men too. It says, Titus 2:1, but speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged men be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, charity, and in patience. And jump into verse 6, young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded, in all things showing thyself a good pattern of works, and doctrine showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity. You see? And the young men were supposed to learn from the older men. But you have Esau, which infiltrated the minds of the foreparents, so to speak, and now we're seeing the results. You know, back in the day, you know, when we were growing up, you had a problem or issue with a Jake, you could shoot it. You could just, you know, throw your hands, you know. But now you have an issue, or you come across one of these young GMO babies. They all equipped with all the armory, you know, and we wonder where they got the access from that. But we already know, you know, you already know. So the the point that I'm making, and let me get this real quick. St. John 8:44. St. John chapter 8, verse 44. It says, "Ye are of your father the devil, for the lust of your father ye would do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth." You know, and you know, you rappers, you are responsible for a lot of death that's happening within this nation. You know, you're responsible for a lot of things, and you think that you are living a good life, but that's why you see a lot of judgment coming upon these rappers. They ODing, you know, they getting shot and killed. You know, all this judgment is coming upon these rappers because the blood of these young men is on your hands. You know, and I got this account in Second Maccabees with Eleazar. You know, and I'm a correlate the two, but I'm gonna just read this real quick. This is Second Maccabees 6:18. It says, "Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man, and of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh. But he, choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such abomination, spit it forth, and came out of his own accord to the torment, as it behooved them to come that are resolute to stand out against such things as are not lawful for the love of life to be tasted. But they that had charge of that wicked feast, for the old acquaintance they had with the man, taking him aside, besought him to bring flesh of his own provision, such as was lawful for him to use, and to make as if he did eat the flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king. Then in doing he might be delivered from death, and for the old friendship with them find favor." So obviously, you know, the rulers at the time had a bit of relationship with Eleazar, but he was a well-respected man, an aged, well-respected man in Israel, and he was commanded to eat swine's flesh or to die. Now, why did they want him to eat swine's flesh? When you go to Judith 5:17, it says, "And while as they sinned not before their power, they prospered, because the Most High that hated iniquity was with them." You see, when we followed the ways of the Lord, the Most High was with us. It says, "But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs. And the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and their cities was taken by the enemies." So this is why the king was forcing Israel to eat swine's flesh, because he wanted our power, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, to not protect us, right? So Eleazar was one of the victims, so to speak. Now, as it said, he basically had a bit of a relationship with them. So they said, "Look, just make it seem like you eating the flesh. Just make it seem like you eating the swine's flesh, and we'll spare your life." Right? Verse 23, back in 2nd Maccabees, the 6th chapter, it says, "But he began to consider discreetly, and as became his age, and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray head, whereunto he was come, and his most honest education from a child, or rather the holy law made and given by the Most High. Therefore he answered accordingly, and willed them straightway to send him to his grave. For it becometh not our age, said he, in any wise to dissemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being fourscore years old and 10, were now gone to a strange religion. You see? So he was saying, send me to my grave. Now, why is he saying, send me to my grave? For the young person. You see? He was considering the young men that would see him do it and say, well, shit, Eleazar went to a strange religion. And if they seen him acting as if he ate swine, see, they would think he ate swine. So now they will follow suit and say, well, Eleazar did it, I'm going to do it. So he's saying, nah, I can't do that for the sake of the young man. And that's the point that I'm bringing out. Because, of course, Esau is going to want you to promote killing each other. Of course, Esau is going to promote being strung out on drugs and popping each other's women, you know, and robbing each other and stealing from one another. Of course, Esau is going to promote that and give you millions of dollars to do that, even if you don't really do it. Act as if you do it so your nation can follow suit. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening. You got all these young dudes, they out here crashing out. You know, but Eleazar said, no, I'm not going to do that. So, jump into chapter 7, the very next chapter. It says, it came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips. But one of them that spake first said thus, what wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers. Now you can bet that they witnessed this with Eleazar. In the recap of chapter 7, all 7 brothers and their mother was put to death, and they died horrible deaths. You know, they died horrible deaths. But I promise you, that's not what it's talking about, but the same thing that it says in Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter, the same thing that it says was with them at the time of their death. Wisdom of Solomon 3. Wisdom of Solomon 3:1, it says, but the souls of the righteous are in the hands of the Most High, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise they seem to die, and their departure taken for misery, and their going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace. You see? And that is exactly what the 7 brothers they died in peace, man. Though it seemed that they died a horrible death, they died in peace. Why? Because the Lord Yahweh Shai was with them. You know? And that's what listen, we know the situations that Esau put us in and the conditions that we all damn near grew up in. That's why we can all relate to each other. We all came from the struggle. But getting out the struggle is not worth it if you got to compromise your people. Because look at these youngins crashing out. Now, ultimately, everything happened for a reason, and this was the will of the Most High. However, the blood of all of these young dudes, that blood is on the streets of each and every city and state of these United States of America, is on your hands too. It's on Esau's hand, and it's on your hands. You know, you rappers, you know, and you Bloods, you Crips, all you gangbangers, you know, all you old heads that didn't teach these youngins the right way, The blood is on your hands, man. You should have been like Eleazar, you know? And that's the spirit that the men of the Lord have. The spirit of the men of the Lord have the spirit of Eleazar. You see? You know, so, that's just something that came across my mind. I just wanted to put that on wax. It was willing. This is edifying. You know, the blood is on the hands of you old heads, man. Lord's will, that be the title. But with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rabakakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of the great millstone who ruled well and taught us this truth. Shalom to the elect.